hey, if you're a US citizen and you want to protect your retirement and you haven't got our free ebook yet, then you're really missing out. So click on the link in the description and find out how you can secure your retirement and your future today.
Hello, chaps. How the devil are we?
Yeah, all good. All good. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah.
Very good if you're good, Lee, lad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
happy life, mate.
Great. Great. That's what we like.
What'd
Well,
you go first today?
Yeah, so today we want to just go through some of our customers' switching results. So sorry about all that. It's all right us talking about what we've done and what we can do, but actually having our customers' results is way more powerful. So
You've got testimonials then.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to give
got
people
lots now.
a few different options of how they can do it. Because we set out how we do it, but then customers have taken it and said, oh, actually, I want to do it like this. So, yeah, a few options. Do you want to give us a quick disclaimer, James?
Yeah. Well, before we get into it, we're not financial advisors for anybody watching this. We're only ever here to share information with you, just make you financially aware. And this is things that we do for ourselves, our families, our friends, and now thousands and thousands of customers all over the world. Okay. So, yeah, everything we do now, we're just really excited about it, especially this switching, because it's made a real big difference, and we just can't big it up enough. So it really has made a big difference. I'm going to show you some results now, some of our customers' results.
Great. So, look, before we get started, all of this is hinged on compounding. And compounding sometimes it's not intuitive. You know, I think as humans, our brains are good with the short term, but we sometimes struggle to imagine what can happen in the long term. You know, there's that saying that people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. And I think that's the case. So I just want to show you on here compounding and what effect it can have at different rates. Now we've got a 4% growth rate, and we've left units off of this on purpose. This could be money, it could be euros, dollars, pounds. It could also be grams of silver, for example, because you can compound the number of grams that you've got. So imagine at year zero, you've got 5,000, 25 or 50,000, whether that's grams or pounds or whatever. After 3, 5 and 10 years, you can see how it's grown just with compounding at 4%. So this is not you buying more. This is just you buy once and you let the compound effect do its thing. So, for example, let's say you have 50,000 grams of silver. Over time at 4%, if you could compound at 4%, after 10 years, you've now got 74,000 grams rather than 50,000. So this is getting it working for you. You've worked hard initially to do the first purchase. Then you're getting compounding working hard for you. If you could do it at 8%, things grow even quicker. So again, 5, 25 and 50, again, whether that's pounds or grams of silver, you can see the growth rate over time. So again, 50,000 to start with, it's more than doubled.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky enough to get 12%, this is per year, then again, things would grow much, much quicker.
And that is achievable, by the way. It's not us just making up figures. It is achievable. We know it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll show you some results now of what our
if you switch.
Customer has actually done. But just keep that in mind, because you might see 4% and think, well, 4% a year, what's that? But think about the compound effect. So
and think about the time that we show you in a minute too. That's all. It could be over just a few weeks or months, not a year.
So there's 4 different ways that you can interact with switching. The first is the most active. So let's say you're really active, you're looking at the charts more regularly, and for that you may be doing shorter switches, and you're having more opportunities short term. So these are real results. So this was a full switch. It was silver to gold in December 22, gold to silver in February 23. So 6 weeks to make 2.27%. Now, 2.27%, you might think, well, that's not very much. But in 6 weeks, that's not too bad. Plus, it was on a large amount. So, James, can you remember the stats of how much?
It was over 5,000 grams of silver for free, that one.
5 kilos of silver for free in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
not bad. About
Not
three and
too
a half
shabby.
grand, I think it was at the time, or something in monetary value, €3,500, something like that.
Yeah,
Not bad for doing nothing, is it? Other than pressing a few buttons.
yeah. So that's a kind of a unique one. That's a low result, but it's a really short period of time, and it was on a large amount, so it makes a difference. The next one, gold to silver, March 23, silver to gold, April 23. So that's 1 month, 6.07% of more metal. So this is not talking about the increase in value. The price could have gone up as well. This is saying 6.07% more physical metal than you started with in a month.
Yeah.
So,
And I know for a fact the numbers on that was about 41 grams of gold for free.
not too shabby.
You know,
Remember,
and
this
look at and look at the value on top of that, as you said. Look at the value of that now. That 41 grams, the value of it compared to back then to what it is now.
yeah.
You know.
So the other, there's a couple of examples here, and these are just half switches. So these haven't completed yet. They're just kind of halfway through. So gold to silver, the switch was done in March 23. Silver to gold hasn't been done yet because the ratio hasn't reached the right point. The point that this person's looking for is 75. It's been 10 months so far, which is fine. And when it does get to 75, it'll be 10.94%. This is the great thing about switching is, you know, when a certain number occurs that you're waiting for, it's a pre-known profit. You know exactly what you're going to make. There's no guesswork. So that's a half switch. And another half switch here, gold to silver, October 23. Silver to gold, not happened yet. Again, looking for a ratio of 75. It's been 3 months so far. And when that does occur, 6.56%. more metals will be achieved. Predetermined profit.
And as we mentioned earlier, Adam, right now. Oh, so I'll let you finish first, Adam, before I say this. Go on.
I was just going to say, this is like someone that wants to be quite active. You can see these are shorter time frames, but you're making a decent amount. This is probably not for everyone, but for some people, this will work really well, that they're being pretty active with the ratio.
Yeah.
Go on, James.
Yeah, and anybody today, just as we said to you earlier, Lee, the ratio's at 91 today. It very rarely gets that high. So if you're looking at purchasing for the very first time, you know, for us, it'd be silver, 100% silver. It's a great time to buy silver. Or if you've got gold, it's a great time to switch that to silver, depending on what you bought, what the ratio was when you bought your gold, of course. But if it was below 80 especially, great time to switch to silver. Make a big difference.
So this is someone looking to maybe take advantage of kind of more shorter switches.
Yeah.
Next is kind of less active. So this is someone that's done a full switch, gold to silver. Maybe they're not looking at the charts as often. September 22 is when they did that. Silver to gold, so they did the next switch in February 23. Still 5 months, so it's still not, you know, it's not weeks, but it's not years either. And that's 5.224% of more metal from that full switch in 5 months. Another full switch here, gold to silver, February 23, silver to gold, May 23, 3 months, 4.26%. So for this, you could probably do, depending on what the ratio, the opportunities occur, you could do maybe 1, possibly 2 switches a year if the opportunity presents. And you're starting to get those really decent compounded results. Because don't forget, let's say you get 5% on a full switch. The next full switch, when you get 5%, you get 5% on top of the 5% that you've already made. So it starts to snowball. Another full switch here, silver to gold, July 23, gold to silver, January 24, 5 months and 4.05%. These are not to be sniffed at for sure.
So you do that a couple of times a year and you're making 10% a year?
If the opportunity presents, yeah. This is just
That's one more metal. Yeah.
More
really
metal,
good,
exactly. So you've got a few different scenarios. You've got, let's say you could do this 2 times a year and you made 10%. If that was the case and the price stayed the same, you're still 10% up because you've got 10% more metal at the same price. Perfect.
What are you supposed to get in a savings account with your cash, Adam?
Again?
Oh,
what do you get in a savings account with your cash?
Well, it differs, doesn't it? I mean, you could probably get 5% in the UK now, but if they drop the interest rate, I mean, interest rates have shot up in the last kind of year or so. But for the last 10, 15 years, they were at 0.1%. So with this, you're not at the mercy of the government just going, okay, we're dropping the interest rate. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm now not getting anything.
Even if you could get 5, 6, 7, 8%, look at the stipulations. It'll only be if this and this, only if you keep it in for a year. And if you take it out before then, you'll get a hit, you'll get penalised and all this rubbish. You know, whereas with the metals, you take it out when you want, sell it when you want, do what you want.
So the next stage is someone that wants to be even less active than that. So this is a customer. They've only done a half switch so far. They've done gold to silver. They did that in January 24, so they've done it very recently. Their second half of the switch, silver to gold, hasn't happened yet. They're waiting for 67. So they're waiting it to drop quite a bit. It's been 3 years so far since they bought the metal and they've done the first switch. But when it does drop to 67, they'll have made 23% more metal. So they're looking for a bigger range that happens less often, but they make more when it does. And they're just sitting back and waiting.
And
so
I think in that example, it'd be a lot more. It was a big purchase.
Yeah.
A lot more. You know, it was really significant.
So it just depends, again, what level you want to interact. But there's opportunity at all different stages. Now, if you want to be very passive about it, this is someone that actually doesn't want to switch. They're not interested in switching backwards and forwards, but there's still an opportunity. Let me explain. So let's say someone's got £30,000. Could be 10,000, could be 5,000, could be 1,000. The number's irrelevant. We're just picking a random number. When we put this together, the ratio is actually 89. So it's gone up since then. And you've got a couple of options. Someone says, look, I just want to buy gold. That's all I want. And we say, great, you can do that. With £30,000, you can get 587 grams of gold. No worries. But that gold is always just going to be 587 grams. Option 2 is with the ratio at 89, let's say, you could buy silver. And then when the ratio drops to, say, 75, you switch your silver to gold. And that would give you 657 grams of gold. 70 grams more gold, or a 12% gain, just by buying a different metal and then doing one switch. And you never switch again. You say, look, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to, look at the charts. I'm never going to go backwards and forwards. But just by being smart and switching once, you could get 12% more metal for your money. And that's just being super, super passive about it. What we actually find is people that have done this say, this switching thing's quite interesting. I've made 12% from more metal than I could have had with the money that I initially started with. Maybe I would like to do this on a bit more of an active level.
Yeah, and comparing that to today, again, Lee, like we just said, the ratio is about 91. If somebody, we're bound to have customers come to us, saying, oh, we just want gold, and it'd be wrong of us not to explain this to them. Say, look, if you just buy silver today instead, it's up to you what you do. We're never going to tell you what to do. But if you bought silver today and it's like 91, and if you switch it, if and when it comes down to 80 or 75 or whatever, if you switch it to gold, then you're going to have a lot more gold than what you would have had if you just bought gold straight away. A lot more.
Very good testimonials.
Yeah.
Oh, they're real life customers. They're from our customers. They're not just made up. So, yeah.
I always think that means more, doesn't it? Because it's all right saying, you see a lot of people online saying, I've done this and it's all about them. Well, that's great. That's easy. But how well are you duplicating and replicating what you're teaching? And for us to show what other people have achieved is far more satisfying for us. And I think more impactful for people to say, look, if they can do it, then maybe they could do it themselves.
Yeah, I think testimonials is the way forward, mate. I mean, we have a few affiliates with the health stuff, and like when you get a testimonial, you just can't beat it, mate. It doesn't matter what you say. When you get someone who's actually achieved it, done it, and wrote it on a piece of paper or a messenger, send it to you and say, listen, this is what I've done. This is absolutely fantastic. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah. And as well, it gives us it makes us feel good.
Yeah,
because
you get a jolly with a little flag, you feel good about it.
because we can look, we can shout down a camera for as long as we want, and say whatever we want, but until people take it and take action and apply it for themselves, it's useless, really.
Yeah.
It
We
really
get a
is.
buzz though, Lee, where we really get a buzz when we see people doing this and achieving this. Yeah, it's really good. We love it, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm helping
sure.
a chap at the minute. To switch. I think he's a bit nervous, so I'm just, hold his hand a little bit more and say, look, there's an opportunity here. Make sure you use it. Don't let it pass you by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, mate. Good
That'll
advice.
be done. Right.
Great. Listen, lads, thanks very much. That was a real eye-opener, that, from your testimonials. Thanks for that. I'm sure the audience will appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pleasure.
good.
Good to chat with you.
Always is. You take care, Lee.
You too. See you in a couple of
Cheers,
weeks.
Lee.
See you,
Thanks.
mate.
Bye.